Hey, what's going on, Archons? Welcome to another episode of Card Looks. Excuse me. This week, I decided to go into one of the houses that will be departing when we finally get the next set. And I thought, heck, let's look at some of those cards which have been really cool within the set. And like I said, I'm choosing from different sets. I'm also choosing cards that are maybe not the most like, oh, this is like so good. I'm trying to find stuff that's a little more niche in a way. So first up, we're going to be going into a card that was in a couple sets actually. So we'll go to the Call of the Archons, and first up we have Witch of the Wilds, which I absolutely love. I think this is a really neat card. I also think it's interesting that it originally appeared in Call of the Archons. It was further there in Age of Ascension and Worlds Collide. And for those of you who don't know about Witch of the Wilds, it's a 4-power beast witch creature, which says during each turn in which Untamed is not your active house, you may play one Untamed card. Why do I like this? Well, this is house cheating, which if any of you have watched anything I do for an extended period of time, you'll know that house cheating is one of my favorite parts of KeyForge. And the fact that this is in an Untamed in Coda, excuse me, what's going on here, is very interesting to me. I think it provides a lot of great decision making. It also allows you to have an opportunity to potentially get cards into hand to build up Untamed turns. So what I'm thinking about is those key charge plays, full moon plays, hunting witch plays, things that require you to maybe save up. Or if you're looking to get another house but don't want to call Untamed for whatever reason, maybe only have 2 in hand, something like that. Excuse me, what is going on here? I'm just enjoying the fact that this card gives you that flexibility and freedom to set up things in a different way. That's what I think makes it really cool. Maybe getting a creature on board. I mean, a Witch of the Wilds getting to drop a Dusk Witch is kind of cool, I think, at the end of a turn. So yeah, I'm just really liking Witch of the Wilds for the flexibility it provides and different lines of play you can utilize it for, either to save up a big Untamed turn, or maybe your Untamed isn't that great, so you just don't want to call it, or you have a board presence, and then you get to cycle a little bit better. So I like Witch of the Wilds for that reason, and I think it is quite a good and interesting card. Next up, we will be heading to the world of mass mutations and looking at an Omega action card called Emberlution. And it says it's Omega, so it's the last thing you do. And it says destroy each creature. Each player reveals their hand and puts each creature from their hand into play. This is such an interesting card, and I've seen some really cool plays with it recently. The obvious way is it's a nice little bit of board control if things are getting out of hand for you. You can just go whoop, wipe the board, end your turn, put everything from your hand into play. Obviously, your opponent kind of gives them an advantage, but why do I like what is happening? Excuse me. What I like about this card in particular is actually starting the game with it. It is so interesting, especially if your opponent mulligan down to a 5-card hand and you have a nice creature savvy hand, you can get a strong board presence. Now, obviously, you're taking a gamble because if your opponent happens to have a lot of creatures in hand, boom, then it happens. So there you go. What can you do? That's just the way it is, but it makes interesting decisions, and that's why I like this card. I think it creates a unique way of playing the game. So I'm a big fan of Emberlution as a turn 1 and also as a board wipe. It's really neat. Especially if it also works if you maybe have a lot of action cards in Untamed and not a lot of creatures, things like that. It just provides some really cool ways you can kind of cycle a little bit more. So really nice in creature heavy decks. And now on to the third card, which comes in Dark Tidings. And this one is kind of like I said, lesser known card. This one is definitely not a lesser known card. It is an amazing card, but I wanted to talk about it nonetheless because I think it might be my favorite Untamed card in Dark Tidings. It's an artifact called Ritual of Life. It has an action, destroy a friendly creature. If you do, return a different creature from your discard pile to your hand. Well, there is a lot of cool ways that this can be abused for many different reasons. One, if you have creatures in the other house that are really potent, have nice play abilities, get those in. You got destroy triggers on the board, boom, does it. I'm actually the biggest fan of this is if you can get a Chelonia and you already have a Fuzzy Gruin on the board, or you have 2 Fuzzy Gruins or another way to destroy a creature. You play the Fuzzy Gruin, get it into your discard some way, then activate the Ritual of Life, return it, play it again with the Chelonia. If you already played it once, that's 6 Ember in 1 turn. Gotta love it. It also provides abilities to just put things like put that Fuzzy Gruin you just played into your, or Deepwater Gruin, sorry, into your discard and grab it next turn. So there's just so many really interesting plays that can happen with Ritual Life. There's so many other ones too. Like there's actually so many different great play effects that exist within Dark Tidings that this card is a really nice staple for making that happen. Just tons of different ways this can be utilized. Plan your next turn, abuse your current turn. I just find it to be quite a very nice addition to the Untamed Artifact suite. So I will be sad that we won't get to see this for a while because we only got it in 1 set before it's rotating out. But nonetheless, this has been a staple for me in really great decks that do really cool things. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode, taking a peek at Untamed and some of the lesser cards. I mean, I say lesser when the truth of the matter is that both the cards, like both Ritual of Life and Witch of the Wilds, is not exactly lesser known, but I just have found recently some really cool interactions with them that I absolutely adore. So I'll be going into more of these later. I'm going to have to revisit some sets, and we'll be breaking down other cards for different reasons. So hope you enjoyed this episode, and as always, folks, may your Ember never be stolen and your keys forged properly. Have a good one.